So I wanted to ask you guys, I wish the other two were here, but I wanted to ask you guys how you think things are going in your class in terms of your leadership and their followership.
It's getting better over time. So.
Getting better over
Yes.
time? That's kind of vague.
But like currently it is going good with authority.
Okay. You were first, Anthony, you were concerned at the beginning that they didn't like you.
Yeah.
You worried about that anymore?
No.
Why not?
Things have gotten better over time, like in terms of organization, and I think that they're seeing that organization, then they're starting to grow into that. So,
Yeah, I think you're right. How's it going for you, Izzy?
For me, it's going pretty well. I got one student who's kind of like, I don't know. And
I'm not going to ask you to say who that is.
yeah, I figured I shouldn't. But otherwise, it's going pretty well, and they all seem to be like it's smooth water, smooth sailing.
Okay. You're both doing a good job, but very different. So I wish all four of you were all different. I wish you could see the other people. Actually, it's kind of interesting. I want to say, what I want to say. I want to make sure we're want to make sure that we're you know what I'm expecting from you. We didn't really talk a lot about it. This happened last Monday morning. I decided to do this because I'd done elections before, but never let it run this far. So I think we should start down here. Actually, that you kind of fall into a daily routine, right? Reading and then the discussions, and then maybe the journaling discussions, then maybe the theme discussions, and then other work and activities as those have come up. So is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And so my concern so far is I want to show you something over here
Sure.
on this board. My concern so far has been to make sure that we're doing things to the depth that we ought to do them. So the pushing the thinking a little further. So we have a question and then making sure that people explain why they have that, asking for counter responses to that. So I have not picking on anybody in particular, but I've seen times where all of you could have gone further with something. And the sort of clearest example, name your favorite character. It's this character. Okay, you name your favorite character. You name your favorite character. And it's like, okay, but tell me why that's the case. And there's some sort of disagreement about who's the favorite character and why that. Some people like Piggy, other people don't like Piggy. Well, the question is, why not? Or why not? So I want to encourage you to remember to be pushing that kind of direction. I haven't shown you this before, but this book has a summary of each chapter, and these questions are the ones that you have as the journaling questions. I'm going to copy a few chapters ahead of the summary, but also they call it strategy, but basically it's a discussion of a literature issue, topic, that we had already setting, characterization, here's symbolism, and I'm going to give you those and other activities that they have and ask you to not to do all of them necessarily, but to at least think about some of them. And you add, here's a writing activity to do. For instance, I want to give you some of those and ask you to think about things you could do. And I want you to do some of them, no doubt, but I want you to also decide on your own. So you may each be deciding different ones. I might give you 4 or 5 and ask you to we'll do 1 or 2 of these. Meaning you pick a due date, you write up the instructions, and you can change it. You don't have to do what they say, but you can change. But I want to make sure we're getting a breadth of work and a depth of work. Harry, does that make sense? So that really kind of covers everything except the grading. The creative activity, I'm assuming you guys are giving instructions and a due date. Either you did that yesterday or doing it soon, right? Okay. I'm probably going to have you do a little bit of grading of that journaling work that we've been doing. I think people are having their discussions and they're not really doing a ton of journaling. Do you think? Has anybody noticed that?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. So we've got to make sure they're having discussions and then they're transferring it into something written, because it does different brain process when we do that. So I might have you grade that at some point, and we'll talk about how to do that. We'll talk about really grading pretty firmly if you need to. So I just want to make sure that we have a sense of what we're doing, and we've fallen, I think we're falling into a pattern, right? Now we've got to make sure the pattern's a good one, and we're doing what we need to do. Right, Harry, how do you think it's going in your group?
It's improving.
It's improving.
Yeah.
Yeah?
That's a good answer.
That's pretty vague. Can you say more?
Like, well, people are listening more, and I have more like, I know what I'm doing, as in what we have planned for the day, and like I know what I'm doing ahead of time.
Good. Okay. Are you guys all still okay with this? Are you anybody wanting to give up their role?
No.
No?
No.
You like it, don't you?
Sort
You
of.
want more of it, don't you? Is it you like it?
Yeah, I like it. I'm glad to like kind of, because I don't really like, in school, we don't really do this kind of thing where the student becomes a teacher in that kind of way. So it's cool.
I'm assuming you guys are all smart enough to know that this is an exercise that's trying to recreate some of this, obviously. Your experience of this is way different from their experience of it. And so part of what we're going to do with these tapes, and I'll ask you to come and see me more than just today, is let you debrief this experience with them at the end and let them try to learn a little bit about what it was like on your side. Because it's different, isn't it?
Good morning, parents.
So,
Today is Tuesday, March
where are you going?
17th.
Jim.
Please
Jim.
stand for the Pledge of
Who's that?
Allegiance.